Now, welcome to the second part of our training for today. Today, we are still on the second day of our training, and the essence of which I am doing all of this is for us to have a perfect understanding of the journey we are about to take. We've not started our practical classes yet, but this is the preparation for our practical classes. Now, the question here is how to plan a website project. A lot of persons just take contracts like, okay, I know how to build a website, and they just take it without even knowing how to plan for that project, and then they make mistake and leave the work halfway. But then if you have a perfect knowledge of how to plan a website, you will not leave that website halfway. So let's dive into this thing. Let's see how to plan our website project. Now, moving forward, he said the first one is define the purpose and goal of the website. There are different purposes for a website. There are different goals for a website. The first one we have is say, is it for businesses? Is it for business? So if it is for business like e-commerce, you write it down that, okay, this website I'm building is an e-commerce website. Now, is it for blog? You take note of it. So you should know the purpose and goal of that website project you are about to undergo. Now, the second one is decide on the website type and features. Now, if you are building a business website, there are features that is required for a business website. If you are building a blog website, there are features that are required for blog website. You cannot build a blog website like an e-commerce website or a portfolio website. What we mean by blog, we are talking about news website, those news magazine website. That's what we mean by blog. Now we have portfolio website. So now under portfolio, say gallery, testimony, contact form. These are features of this kind of website. So create a site map. Every website has a structure. It is referred to as the blueprint of that website. What is the flow of this website? Now the example you are seeing on the screen is for maybe an agency. Let me use for an agency. That's the example you are seeing here. We start from home page, the first structure. About page, the second structure. Services, the third structure. Portfolio, blog, and contact. This is a structure. So if you are building an e-commerce website, for instance, what you will be having is home, shop, contacts. These are the theory flow of structure that you will be having for an e-commerce website. Then from shop, you will be having another site map like cart, share cart, then payment. You understand? Let me show you Jumia. Let's use Jumia. Okay, Jumia is a good let me use a Nigeria Jumia site. I think it's .com.ng. Let's see what we have. The flow it has. Okay. Now, if you look at Jumia here, now Jumia has just that's theory flow. Here, what you see on this logo here is the home. Anytime you click on this logo, it will take you to the home page of Jumia, which is what you're already seeing on your screen. Now, it has a flow here, account, which is, if you are a new member, you create an account, it has help, and then it has cart. This is an e-commerce website. Now, moving forward, it said prepare content. The next thing you need to do when you have a website project is prepare content in advance. And what we mean by content, we mean those texts, those images, those videos, the logos, and every other thing that website needs. In simple terms, the information that you want people to see in that website is what you you prepare it. You can put it in a PDF format and just after arranging them, you start copying and pasting on your website. We'll come to that. Now, the next step you need to take is choose a domain and hosting plan. Now, if you are building for yourself, you choose. But then if you are building for someone, the client will definitely tell you the domain name he wants to use for his business, his website. Now, you can also discuss the hosting plan with your client. We have 1 year hosting plan, we have 2 years hosting plan, we have 3 years hosting plan. I think 3 is the highest. And then we also have lowest. We have 1 month, we have 3 months, we have 6-month hosting plan. So you can choose any of this hosting plan when planning for your website project. Now, over here, let's choose a reliable hosting provider. Where we make progress, I'm going to be discussing more about hosting providers for you. Now, just select a suitable WordPress theme. Now, every website has a different theme. That's why at the beginning it said, know the goal and the purpose for the website. Now, if I have to build an e-commerce website, I will not use the theme of a blog website for an e-commerce website. So it is a different ball game. Look for the theme that matches the kind of website you want to build. As you can see, so choose the theme that matches your goal. Then look for responsive, which is mobile friendly, and a light theme. There are people who use heavy themes for their website. If you start using heavy themes, don't worry, we'll talk about theme specifically, but then you should know that there are heavy themes. If you start using heavy themes for your website, you will start having problem on that website. One of the problems is slow loading. If you go to some website, you see that it takes so much time to open. It is because of the kind of theme they use. Some example of light theme is Astra, Generate Press, Ocean WP. We also have Kindera and all of that, depending on the niche you want to build your website for. Now, choose your plugins. That's it. After choosing your theme, the next step is choosing your plugins. Now, plugins, like I said, you install plugins based on the functionality you want. Based on the functionalities you want, you install plugins based on functionalities and features that you want on that website. You don't just install plugins. Now, if I want my website to have WhatsApp, I want people to navigate WhatsApp through my website, I will go and install the plugin for WhatsApp. If I want people to make payments on my website, I will go and install the plugin for payment method on my website. Now, if I am building a corporate website and that corporate website does not accept payment, there is no need to go and install plugin for payment on my website. So you install plugin based on the need, based on the features that is needed in that website. Now, the next one is set a timeline and budget. Building a website requires money. Building a website requires money. Like I said, you are going to be paying for domain, you are going to be paying for hosting. Now, if you need specific features, you will be paying for premium themes and plugins. Now, like a timeline, you can tell your client 1 month. Sometimes I usually tell them 3 weeks so that I can have a good time to settle down and build the website well. So I usually go for 3 weeks and 1 month. But then if you are using WordPress, you can build a website under 24 hours. Trust me when I say so. Under 24 hours, you can build a website if you are using WordPress. The next one, and I think this is the last one, say visualize the design. Visualize the design. Say roughly sketch how the home page will look like. So you can sketch it on a piece of paper and then before you start designing, or you can, pay a UI UX designer to help you sketch the beauty of the website. I explained that as a coder, if you are using code to build website, you need a UI UX designer by your side. Even WordPress too still need them. They still need them. They will still work hand to hand. Now, visualizing the design still requires you to know the kind of colors that website need. But then the color, when it comes to color, you don't need to stress yourself too much. You can easily ask your clients, what is their brand color? Ask them what is their brand color. There are some organizations that has brand color, brand fonts. Some organization has their own font. So you can easily ask them. But in a case where they don't have, you can just, do your research about the company and know the colors that fit the company and use those colors to build your site. So this is just the simple ways to plan your website project. It is very simple to plan your website project. Now I've given you an assignment for today and would have loved to give you another one for this particular video, but then I want you to just finish with that assignment I've given to you. Thank you for watching. God bless you. See you in our next class.